I am feeling in my element with this look. This is on a 100% get ready with me. If you want to see how I created this look, all the products that I used, and some little fun chit chats, then keep on watching. All right, welcome to this full get ready with me. I'm actually going to try and do a full one. I feel like I always say I'm going to, and then I mess it up. So we're going to try and edit our best way through. So starting out, I'm going to take the Hard Candy Skin Rescue. It's a facial like redness spray. Just to kind of prep, I am coming, I'll spray a little in my mouth. I am coming to you fresh after work. So I have just cleansed my face and moisturized. Sorry, I hope I'm not messing up my mic. I am using a different mic today. So if it does sound hopefully better, let me know. This actually is the first mic I ever had. I thought I upgraded to a better one, but I feel like I've just been noticing that the quality just has not been that good. So I am hoping that this one works better. We shall see. Yeah, anyways, okay. So for foundation today, I am actually going to be going back in with that L'Oreal skin tint that we did use, I think a couple times back. I know this is a brand we don't all use anymore. If you know the packaging, you know. But I just noticed that I think this is a hair too dark, or just some of the undertone I don't love as much. So if I mix a teeny bit of this, which is a hair too light for me, it kind of just works. I'm just going to use, here, let's go for an old school Real Techniques buffing brush. I think that's what this is called. Do a little bit on my hand. So after playing with this recently, I don't think I filmed anything with it. I have actually noticed that it actually does work really well for like a nice kind of full coverage, fuller coverage. I really do appreciate though that it is serumy. I'm just mixing together on the back of my hand. Two ways I apply is, for one, I can go directly in with the products I'm doing right here. I'm just gonna grab a mirror and just place it on my face, or I can go in with a brush. I feel which one makes sense. I'm more likely to use more if I use a brush. So kind of going in with my hands, except it's just a little messier. And then I'm just going to kind of stamp it in. I realize, especially as the weather is changing, that my skin, I feel like my skin is just every day going through something different. I did at work today, because I've been wanting something a little bit where I'm at. I wore the Maybelline Fit Me. And I don't know, I hated how my skin looked. The other day, I actually took a lot more time, which we'll try and do today, and really just perfected my base first. And I actually really thought I had a really nice skin day. So I think we are going to go ahead and try to do that. But I just love how it gives coverage, but it feels like skin. Like, I feel like you can still see, sorry, I hope I'm not blocking you, but you can still see some of my skin through, but it's just a lot more even. My skin is super red. I hope this matches. I think it matches my hand pretty okay. That's usually kind of my go-to, especially because I feel like it's weird. My chest can be pretty light. Sorry, I'm wearing like a lower or a higher top. My chest can be kind of light, but my neck tends to be more red. My face is more red. So it's just always hard for me to find something that really works. But I think we have a pretty good shade match. I think I'm just going to finish applying just kind of a same layer to the skin, and then we'll be back for our next step. Okay, so we are back. I do apologize if you can hear. I do have a fan to the side because I'm just dying. It is kind of hot here. But I do have the base all over. I think we're looking good, nice and glowy. I'm really just need to get used to looking glowy, because I feel like I just look shiny, and where like my blemishes and stuff are, I just hate it. Also, I don't know why, I feel like my chin, I have just been hating how my chin looks, but like maybe it's like not even that bad. I don't know. We're gonna try to just keep on going. I don't want to be super critiquing on myself. So next up, we're gonna go ahead and do is a liquid blush. So I was doing this the other day, playing with some of the stuff that we have received from past Ice Cream Beauty boxes. So I started off with this one here, which is from Moon Slice Beauty. It's like this pink shade. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that. I'm just gonna dot a little bit on the cheeks. If you're new here, I do also like to take my blush into my hairline. And I'm just going to go ahead and take this kind of dense brush just to start stamping it in. I really am loving the idea of kind of layering my base and making everything nice and smooth. And I feel like this just gives a really pretty, nice kind of healthy, alive glow-ish to the face, just adding a bit of color back in now that we have like blanked everything out. Keeping on going with Moonslice Beauty, I'm actually going to take the highlighter stick that we did get a little bit ago. Mine is in the shade Girly Pop. And I am just going to take a little bit just on my cheeks. I can take a little bit on the brow bone, and I don't have brows on yet. But what I'm really liking about this color is that it definitely has some gold to it, but it's able to blend in, I feel, really nicely. And it just gives this really pretty glow. And I'm definitely really happy to have this one in my collection. I just realized I really hope now that I have this highlighter on the brow bone, I hope that it does not make my brows like super glittery or super shiny, but whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, apply my brows here. Let's see if we can. Scared. All right, how did I do? Hopefully I did okay. That was my first transition ever. So one thing I actually did want to try out that I normally never do is I'm going to take a little bit of setting powder on to my eyelids. When I was when I was reading the Kevin Aucoin book, that is something that he did recommend, is to apply a little bit of setting powder. I honestly should have done it with my brows and I completely forgot, but hopefully it'll be okay. I'm really hoping this does work out with like the glowiness kind of eye. I really do think that it is just going to be about setting the areas that need to be set, because I really do think that my skin does need that kind of more hydration. I think I honestly really just need to get used to it. Like, I love when I see people wear skin tints, stuff that's a bit more glowier, but I think because I have just been stuck in this super matte at times, I just struggle with it. If you can't tell by the brows, we are doing green. If you are kind of new to my channel, I tend to like to add my brow color or like my eyeshadow color into my brows. So I have been trying to play more and more with this palette. I'm really trying to challenge myself more to actually be creative, to also really get to know a product before I kind of judge it harshly, I guess I would say. I do feel like in my last video, I kind of did that a bit. So I'm really trying to, for one, step out of my comfort zone, but for two, just really experiment and see what I'm able to create. Also, one thing funny is that I'm so curious. So I was watching somebody else's video, and this could just be a color blind problem. They said that this is a lavender. Why does it look lavender on camera? I feel like to my colorblind eyes, this looks gray. Let me know, is it lavender? I actually did. It's funny, when I did the look, I did use it to blend out the darker purple. Maybe that's what I was supposed to do. But anyways, we are going to be doing the greens. Why is this shade though jumping out so gorgeous? Hocus Pocus. I'm trying to think. I do feel like I tried to do a look the other day. I wanted to do like color out here and then a different color on the inside, but I just don't feel like it worked out that well. So I don't think we're gonna do that because I want it to work. And also this shade right here, Seven Gables, is gorgeous. I am in love. Okay, so as per normal, I am just gonna grab, I need to wash my brushes so bad. Okay, I'm just gonna use a little fluffy brush and I'm gonna dip in with the black eyeshadow, and I'm basically just going to fill in this outer kind of corner here. So I always start where the color part of my eye is. I'm gonna start my black there, take some underneath the eye, and then I'm just gonna kind of wing it out, and I'm gonna go ahead and build to, I guess, the level that I want to build. So something I wanted to actually talk to you all about, and I am so curious. I'm curious, and then I'm also disappointed. Not with you, obviously, but Profusion is coming out with a Harry Potter collection. I'm very bummed because Profusion has been a brand that I really have come to love for years, and it does feel really weird that they are doing this collab with Harry Potter, where I'm also very confused. And I do understand that it is two different things. I'm pretty sure with the Elf Matt Rife thing, they had made a comment about it or they had like posted something about it. And now they're like, they had to, and they posted about that, have already been in the works of doing this like Harry Potter launch. I just find it a really odd choice that they did. I'm just going in with some of that Seven Gables shade, that kind of darker green. But I just find it a really odd choice. Now, again, I get that not everybody is for all people or on the side of all people, but it just, I don't know. It's so interesting to me, the brands that will touch Harry Potter. I don't know. It's just, it's so crazy. And it's like on a level of it, I get it. I get it as a, I feel like it's going to sound controversial, but as a enjoyer of the films, I really did enjoy them a lot when I was younger. To be honest, I still do. I did at one point buy all of the, like I have all the DVDs, so that obviously, unfortunately, it did give some money to, Ms. J.K. Rowling, but not anymore. So at least through streaming and stuff, she won't get any more from me. Granted, I don't know how it works from streaming. Maybe by owning HBO Max or something, maybe she gets a cut of the pie. I don't know how that works. But as much as I can, I do not want to support her. I just find it, yeah, I'm disappointed. And also one thing I would say is except for their original post, I have not seen many people talking about it. I did go back, like I said, and find the original post on Instagram, and did see either people I follow or people who I didn't, but just commenting that this was not the move. And so I'm very happy a bit. I am a little sad either. I don't know if it's being buried on TikTok, which I don't really know how all of that works on TikTok, as in if for like a product review or something, if it's a lot easier to bury it. But it's just interesting. When I did look it up on TikTok, nobody was talking. Like I think I typed in like Profusion Harry Potter like problem or or whatever, like trying to find something about it, and I really couldn't find anything like negative, or I guess like I'm not trying to even say negative, but I think like critiquing. I think what in a way it really feels so hard and disappointing is that a lot of our more affordable brands are at times having collections or doing things with brands that we as the consumers or some of the consumers, we just don't appreciate. And I think the biggest thing is, especially in the way that our world is right now, we benefit from things being a bit more affordable. I mean, I think if anything, unless you're like super well off, I think a lot of us benefit from things being a bit more affordable. And it just really does feel disappointing. I will say though, it really does make me want to rally behind the indie brands who are not being disappointing, who are not going against some of their fans and, creating collections that just aren't beneficial. I don't like it. And it really just tells me that I really should, even if I have to spend a little bit more on certain things, I am putting my opinions, out there. If it means that I have less makeup, if I'm able to buy less makeup, at least I know that I am not being part of the problem. Now, going with that, what is hard is that, of course, there are some more affordable brands out there, but I think what's difficult is there's a lot of problematic things with makeup brands. I am tempted to do some research, but I'm also a little nervous to do research because most of our brands have, except for I would say very indie brands, have problematic paths or problematic things that we would not agree with. So think of a lot of your drugstore brands, L'Oreal, Maybelline, Revlon might have some troubling paths, Wet n Wild, that it really becomes this really tricky thing, especially like myself, when even at times I have been thinking, maybe I should expand a bit. Maybe I should try a little bit of, I would say, more high-end to me. So think the more luxury brands at Ulta, Sephora. Maybe I should, dip my toes into those brands, but it's difficult when they're owned by companies that I don't necessarily agree with. I think the biggest thing is that I do think it will be helpful to do some research, but I'm also going to try to come from a place of non-judgment, if that makes sense. Here's a perfect example that comes off the top of my head. So I think that Huda Beauty is a perfect example. I had talked about Huda Beauty in the past about how she had a history of, I think she had like made some remarks about queer people. There was like an issue of a skin color thing that she posted that just didn't go well. Like there's definitely some controversial stuff, but a really positive thing right now is that she is very pro-Palestine. And in the way of our world right now, like that is something that we need. Like this is a group of people who are literally being wiped out. We need to be doing better. And so it really, for me, makes me feel like, you know what, maybe maybe this is her, it's kind of that, this is her way of doing better. Again, unfortunately with our brands, we're going to have to be at times, sounds weird to say, picky, choosy. But I do think that that is what that is. At times, even like I said, if it was Profusion that did make that statement about Matt Rife, kind of, I think it was like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. But it was, saying, you're welcome here. But now it's doing this thing with J.K. Rowling. It's like, well, you're not. And I think that it might really be important, I guess, just to see what are the brands doing at this current time and who do we want to give our money to? Who are we wanting to buy stuff from? And I think for me, my biggest thing really is I'm just really wanting to shop a lot more indie and also just doing some research. What's hard is that a lot of indie brands, like I would say, in my opinion, complexion is not a thing that a lot of indie brands do. If they do, because an independent brand, it's very difficult for them at times to do a really good range. Of course, if you have any that you like, please let me know. I think where I'm trying to get at, so I apologize if I'm kind of just rambling, is that I think I'm going to do the best that I can. Hopefully, if it sounds interesting to you, I can talk about some of the stuff that I learn as I learn. And I would absolutely love for you to share with me things that you learn. I would love to hopefully hear, of brands that are giving back, being helpful, not voting against my rights or other people's rights. Like that's where I really want to go. I'm going to go in with a couple of shimmels. So we're going to take Witch Hunt, and then we're also going to take this other one, which is called Salem Willows. I know I really haven't been showing you all the colors, but I am loving this little thing we have going on here. So should I use a glitter glue? You know what? Let's do that just to see. Speaking of drugstore brands, NYX, I will need to do some research on NYX. I think NYX is pretty good as far as I know on the problematic. But like I said, I will kind of have to do my research when kind of just deciding. And I think that what's difficult is that I never want to close myself off from makeup brands. I never want to close off being able to try new formulas. But when such crazy stuff is happening, and this is even the most simple thing, makeup is so, I wouldn't necessarily call it unnecessary. Like to me, I absolutely love makeup. It's one of my biggest passions. But it's something so simple. It's like buying food. When I heard, sorry, political moment, but when I heard that Goya was a big backer of Trump, I stopped buying Goya. It's unfortunate to buying from a different brand, I believe, especially a non-white brand, you want to be able to support, but when people don't support you, it's like, ooh. And obviously, of course, there's a lot of things with that can be very difficult, but I think we just have to, the world that we are in right now, we can't just keep putting our heads down and pretending that it doesn't exist. I mean, I think that I hopefully never was doing that, but I think things are just going to be getting worse and worse and worse. And we really need to, as they say, put your money where your beliefs are. So that really is going to be something that I will be doing more in the future. I would absolutely love for you to share with me your favorite brands out there, any indie brands, any brands you think I should just check out, or if you have any interesting thoughts about even just this topic of conversation. Some people would absolutely love, feel free to disagree with me. I am here for us to have just a chat as we are playing with some makeup, doing this full-on get ready with me. I just want to know. On an aside though, hello palette. Hello, so pretty. Speaking of indie brands, I think Nomad is a really really good one. I really love a lot of what they stand for. They seem like a really good company. You know, the fact that they donate to help causes, I think is amazing. And they do create some really good formulas. This is only my second palette from the brand, but I really do like it. I love the formula. And as I said, I'm really just trying to stretch my creativity and try out different stuff. I mean, hello. This is like a perfect, my kind of look. It's very witchy, I just really love it. And I cannot wait to continue to play with it more and more. This one and Trapped, I mean, hello, these are my current babies, and I'm so excited on a random. I got a shipping notification from Gourmand Girls that they're sending a Halloween palette coming up soon. I will say it does feel a little close from just having Trapped come out, but I am excited. I don't know if maybe some of the production or something got pushed back, but I'm really excited to have a Halloween palette. So freaking stoked. I'm actually I want to look on their site from the Trapped collection and see if I might want to pick up one or both of the highlighters. And I think I might pick up some of the liquid lipsticks. I want to see what the finish is first. As I've been playing more recently, I really feel like that there is certain purchases that I would like to make for products that I know I'm going to love. As I'm trying to shift from the overconsumption of just random stuff that I don't even know if I'm going to love, I really want to focus on stuff that I know I'm actually going to love. So switching, let's go ahead and do some setting powder for right now. Just using this little poof from Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild, I know, can be a kind of controversial brand-ish. I think my biggest issue I used to have with Wet n Wild, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me, was there at one point, their foundation, I hope they fixed it, I should do my research, but their foundation, the shade range was just not great at all. Okay, so one thing I'm going to try and do, I always suck at this, is pick up product and then like dust it off onto my hand. I tend to just cake it on, and I think that can really harm. Oh, there's my mirror. So I'm just gonna set, you know, it's funny. This mirror is Profusion. That's so sad. I'm so bummed. I mean, I'm still gonna use my Casper mirror because I did buy it, but the Casper one is from Profusion. I hope that they do something to apologize, but I don't know. It's really difficult, and like I said, very disappointing. So as we're powdering our face, one thing I did want to talk about, because I know I've talked about finances and stuff with you all, and it's something I was watching this finance thing, and I think it's actually very interesting and in a way quite smart. So she was talking about, of course, in the ideal world, all the money that we make, and this is again only if you are basically privileged enough to have this kind of with your money. I am very fortunate that with part of it I am currently. It would be that 50% of your money goes to needs, like 50% of everything you make goes to needs. Okay, random. The nose looks good. I feel like I'm like wasting product, but it looks good. 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and then 20% goes to goals. And what I found really interesting about this perspective, I think it was the financial diet. I appreciate her so much. She is, for one, a financial person that's a woman. Love that. I feel like I struggled so hard to find that. She is more liberal, which again, I mean, you know, not that you need that, but I prefer it, obviously. I feel like most finance stuff I find is very like male-based, so I do really appreciate when I can find it in a like female way. But what I really appreciated about it was that the 20% goals could be paying off debt, paying off whatever. I think for me, and I could be wrong, but where I'm kind of looking at it is I feel like with my debt at times, or my like spending, I go at it wrong. And the fact of my goal is to kind of give myself a pretty small allowance, which my current allowance, when I try to, would be $100. That's just for extra. That would be for makeup. That'd be for if I wanted random food that's not within my grocery budget, you know, whatever. In our current society, that's not a whole lot. Now, granted, I don't know what 30% of all the money I make is, or basically whatever percentage, I'll have to figure it out. But I don't know what like 30% of that is, but I am just going to assume that it is more than $100. And I do think that by having a bit more freedom in my purchases, still there is going to be obviously restraint because you still want to save up for the nicer stuff that you want. You don't want to spend all of it every single month. But I think that by giving myself a bit more of that freedom compared to what I tend to do is I try to be super strict, give myself no freedom, and then of course I overspend. I feel like it's such a thing that we all do. So by sticking to 20% of what I make going to paying debt or whatever, I think that it is going to be such a beneficial thing to actually getting it done, to actually in the long run, because this is the game I'm playing, is that, I feel like it sounds weird to say the game, but it's the long game or whatever you call it. It's the long goal to try to actually be debt free. It needs to be something that is possible. As we're continuing chatting, I'm going to go ahead and transition to bronzer. I only have one bronzer, funny enough. So this is the Melt Contour Stack, which does come with a bronzer and a contour. I have kind of gone away from contour a bit lately. I really have just been trying to experiment more with bronzer because I tend to only do blush. And then I feel like sometimes having a little bit of bronzer can help. Let's see. Let's just use this big old fluffy brush, dipping in with this bronzer, and just gonna go ahead and just put it kind of, as they say, where the sun hits ya. I do feel like I just currently put it where I would apply my blush. A little bit on the forehead, a little bit on the nose. I feel like it just adds, hopefully, some color back into my skin. I feel like I tend to really pale myself out, which can happen, obviously, with evening out the skin tone. So really just by adding in some bronzer, it really can help add some color back in. And I also do feel like that liquid blush also did that because we didn't put powder here. So we still have that bit. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like my skin looks good. I feel like it's like a soft matte in the spots that are set. And it's nice. I am going to be curious because we will finish up with the setting spray. I did use this one today, Look Unlock setting spray. And I do still feel like I got a little kind of greasy. Like I said, it could have been the foundation though. I also have the Matte Unlock. I think I'm going to try and do this one. I still don't fully know how I feel about this one. I might go back to the Milani one when I'm finished with this. This is a great price point of $7.50. But I just don't know. But you know what? We might love it. We'll just have to continue playing with it, I guess, and see. I think I'm really just working on complexion recently and finding something that I think is going to work for me. All right, so like I said, I think I'm going to skip contour shit a little bit. Why not? We're playing. I will say, though, the Melt Contour versus the bronzer, very, very good shades in the fact that this is definitely more cool toned. The other one was warm toned. My only critique is that I do wish that they had refills because I do have for a deeper skin tone, which is great, but that is not me. And I can't really give it to a friend, unfortunately. Also, it might be a little expired. So I don't know. I mean, it still works well. That would be one thing if they were going to, with their contour products, I would hope that they have separates. I have not looked at Melt in a while. I wonder if they're going to come out with a cool Halloween collection. What even happened to Melt? On a random, I have been tempted to do a little bit of new makeup releases just because I feel so out of the realm of them. I would love to know what you all think. I think we might be able to do it as a chatty still get ready with me kind of idea. But I would love to know all of your thoughts. I know some people, when I had stopped doing them or when I had talked about it, they were like, I agree, don't do it. But I don't know if maybe doing once a month or something and just chatting about some of what I see might still be good and interesting. You let me know your thoughts. How are we looking? I think we look okay. I hope we look okay. I'm so curious to see how long this video is going to be. Hopefully not too bad. Okay, so let's swap over to blush. So we are wearing green. I don't know what I'd want to wear with this. I think I'm going to go for this tried and true that I love. Mine is so dirty. This is the Revolution Beauty Icon Blush. I love this thing. So it has the cream, which we didn't use, but it has powder and a highlightery blush. I love this. It definitely has a really good dip in it. It is honestly one of my favorite everyday blushes, and I am so happy that I did purchase it. So I'm going to go in with my favorite Sonia Kashuk pointed blush brush. I hope they still sell this. I'm not sure. Just blush myself up. I think I'm going to go in with a fun highlighter, a colored highlighter. I have been loving to dip back in with my Beauty Moon Cosmetics highlighters. I have every single one. If you remember these, I do believe that they still do have them available, but they have rebranded them, but they are all the same shades. I have not checked to see if they have figured out a way around tariffs currently. I will have to look into that. I'll try to pop in a card if I'm able to find anything about that. But I'm just going to take the shade Eden, which is the green one. I really appreciate the fact that I do feel like all of these have a pretty, I would say, pretty translucent base with the color. You probably can't even see that. But I do like that it has a really nice glow. But I think it's something that I feel like most people are able to wear, which is good. At least in my opinion. I apologize if I am wrong, but I do feel like it does work really well for a lot of different skin tones. Apply a little bit under the brow bone as well. Hopefully you can see, like, I feel like just doing the whole shebang really just helps to like complete a look. I do not know what kind of lip I'm gonna wear. I wish I had, you know what we might be able to do? I've been wanting to play with these Beauty Moon Cosmetics lips that I have for a while. As you see, this is like, I think, a yellow one. I believe I have a green one. I would love to play with that. See if I could do like a black fading in. That'd be kind of cool. All right, highlighter done. You know what? Let's just, why not? Let's go in with a little bit of this Look Unlock spray. I do love the mixture of this, and I do feel like it sets down pretty quickly. All right, so let's see. What shall we do? Lips or mascara? Let's do lips. I'm just going to go ahead and take a pencil real quick off camera and just line my lips, any black pencil you have or whatever color, and we'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm thinking, we do have this liner. I'm just going to go ahead, feather some in from the outer corners. That way we're able to create kind of this ombre look. Okay, I think that is good. I'm going to go ahead and just grab a brush. Let's use just a nice soft brush just to pull in some of that color and start to blend. And of course, when I want to try to find it, I can't. What a bummer. So we are actually, I'm going to try this and see if we can make this work. This is the shade Cider from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. It definitely makes me want to do kind of like a more like kind of look in the future. But I'm going to put this in the center. Definitely a really pretty and interesting shade. I really just need to wear this one day and figure out like a look that I could wear this with that I would feel good about. I don't know if I would want to just do just this lip color, but I will say it's a very unique shade. I'm going to go ahead and transition over to a black liquid lip. This is Cricket from Menagerie. It's going to fill in those outer corners. And the best I can, I'm going to try and blend my lips together. That's definitely giving B. Love that. I'm actually going to go ahead. Do I have the lip color that I want? I believe I do. So these, funny enough, are also from Melt. They had came out with these kind of glittery liquid lips a couple of years ago around festival time. These are the products that I feel like when I see it, this is why I'm so intrigued now by the Trapped collection from Gourmand Girls. Because they might have, I know they have a couple funky colors. I'm literally just going to cover Cider. I do feel like those Cider is going to help to bring out the grain. Just tap it in. Okay, yes. I am obsessed. Hello. Okay. Mascara time. I am not gonna lie, my eyes. I've kind of gotten away from it for a while now. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. At times I feel like I want to, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and use this mascara that we got in our Ice Cream Beauty box. So if you did not see that video, my biggest thing I love, because this does come apart as a little brush applicator, is grabbing it kind of around the base and holding. That way you do get the brush. This does have, I feel, I love the bristles. I love how it feels. It does feel very nice and defining, but not too much. I still sadly have not tested it out to see of its like transfer resistantness. It does not claim to be, but I still do think it is fun just to try out some formulas that do not claim to be waterproof, just to see how they actually are transfer resistant wise, mainly because I feel like they are just so much easier to take off. I really feel like that's one of the biggest things I hate about a waterproof mascara is I find it so hard to take off. Now, I will say I do feel like this is drying very nicely, like, and quickly on the lashes, which is great. I'm gonna go and close up my little thing, take out our little comb. If you saw my video before, I prefer the comb side versus the brush side. And I'm just gonna kind of give a little zhuzh just to help to separate and define those lashes. And I do think this is actually a really nice idea for if you just kind of want a more softer look with your lashes. I really just also think that it helps with clumping. So I really, really do like that. But yeah, I think we look super stunned. I'm so excited to take a nice photo. I'm so excited we actually completed this full get ready with me today, actually doing an entire look, and I think we look good. I wish I could just peel this off and put it back on tomorrow morning because hello, it is nighttime. I'm going to wash my face off, eat some dinner, and go to bed. But yeah, I don't know. I really love it. I hope that you all did enjoy today's video. Let me know down below your thoughts. Please subscribe if you did enjoy this content. I'd absolutely love to have you here, and I will see you in my next one. Okay, bye.